Happy Friday. When you set a manifesting goal, you want it to happen as quickly and as easily as possible, right? Well, today we're going to see that there's actually 3 different routes and types of journeys you can go on through that. And knowing which one you're on and even being open to shifting between them can make your manifesting goals happen and appear in your reality that much faster and easier. Hey everyone, it is Acacia, the CEO legal coach, and longtime business advisor, attorney, and manifesting advisor as well. And this is the Aligned Business Series, where we go live 3 times a week, answering your questions live, but also sharing real-world stories and situations that other business owners are going through and giving you the solutions to them. Because what is the point of knowing that there's challenges in your life if you can't find the solutions? So if you're ready, today we are talking about manifesting as business owners and the 3 different types of journeys you might be on when you're manifesting and what you can do to shift between them to attract and bring your manifestation goal into reality that much bigger, sooner, and faster. So first off, if you're in there and in the chat, give me a yes, yes, yes. I see some of you already. Hello. Yeah, it's not luck. It is definitely not luck at all. So this is a real journey. This is a real journey that a lot of manifestors and business owners go on. Because what you're going to see here is as we go through these 3 types of journeys, one of them is what we've been trained to do as business owners. The universe has trained us this, college has trained us this. If you've ever taken any type of online business courses, classes, seen stuff on YouTube, you've been trained to do one of them. But there's 2 others. And oftentimes the other 2 others are faster. So, okay, first off, let's get into this for a second. What is manifesting? Manifesting is calling in your desires. We all were built with a core-driven desire to express ourselves, to express God, the universe, whatever it is through us. And we were designed to have everything we need to make that reality. Everything. Because you can't be designed for something and then fail at what you were designed to do. So what gets in the way of this? Blocks. Blocks are types of planning, mental, emotional, physical. So many different types of blocks may come in. And when we remove those blocks, it's just us, that purpose, that desire, what it is, and everything we need to make it a reality. So a couple things to know. Of course, manifesting is not a one-size-fits-all. Your journey is yours. Always yours. But how you feel about that journey, even though you know what you're after and why you're after it, how you feel about that matters. And you're going to see that across the 3 journeys we're going to learn today. It's also okay to know to shift midway. There is no, I started this way, I have to finish that way. Screw that. No. As you'll see in one of the stories I'm going to share with you, I had a plan. And then as I started to execute it, I was like, I don't think that's what I'm inspired to do. I'm inspired to go do random stuff. And by doing the random stuff, my manifestation goal actually appeared within 3 days. Doing the random stuff, doing something completely unrelated to my goal. And the other thing to note is that the results aren't just the goal. Because when you're manifesting, what you're asking the universe to do is not just to give you the lump sum of money or not just to give you the clients or give you the success. You're saying, universe, turn me into the person I'm meant to be. Turn me into the person, give me the experiences, the challenges, and the enjoyment, the love and the passion to fulfill all of this. Because that's the thing, if you're not living it, there's something about you going on that isn't in that place. So let's get you the situations to step it up. You're capable of it. You were designed for it. Let's make it happen for you. Okay, what are these 3 types? What are these 3 types? So I like to call the first one type A. So when you're manifesting, you probably already know, you've decided what you're after. You have your manifesting goal. You're like, I'm here and I'm going there. And I want to get there ASAP and hopefully easily and happily. So type A, journey A, is when you know where you are, you know where you're going, and you know the steps in between. You might have even done them before. And this is great because you know what you're doing. You know how to get there. You know what to expect along the way. You have the plan. All you have to do is execute it. This can actually bring up manifesting challenges because what ends up happening here is, well, you have a brain setting a plan that can create rigidity, that can create inflexibility. Are you willing to deviate from that plan if there's a way to make it happen faster for you? Or are you, this is the plan. I'm going to do this and then this and then this. The other thing is you're trying to predict the outcome of every single phase, every single step. And while, yes, the brain and the subconscious feel it's safe to expect the same outcomes, the reality is we don't repeat things because you're different, right? Even now, you're doing it with more confidence because you've done it before. Or maybe last time it was the first time you did it, so you were nervous and hesitant. Who you are is different. The universe is different. The way things are around you are different, even if you just did this yesterday. So we have these expectations of identical results, and that can lead to, again, back to the over planning, but also disappointment and frustration when things don't go the way we expected. And then we have just less openness along the way, but also to the outcomes. So we can end up being overly structured. We're saying, how? Now, if you've ever studied manifesting before, you know one of the key things to do is to let go of the how. Let go of it. Where in a type A, you're actually planning, expecting, stating, controlling how. So this type of journey can actually do us harm in our manifesting if we stay too tight to it. But it can be great because we feel confident and comfortable, which means those types of blocks about insecurities and worthiness and all those probably aren't present for you. This is a very interesting balance for us. So being aware, if you're on a type A journey, that this is what might be happening in your manifesting. So you might want to explore going to a type B journey. All right, so here's the second type of journey, which, by the way, I have a manifesting guide, an absolutely free manifesting guide. Let me put this on the screen just in case you want any of this. Go ahead and grab that. But it's designed for entrepreneurs, right? Because type A, what we just talked about, the planning. Well, when you start a business, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to have a business plan. You're supposed to have a marketing plan. You're supposed to plan. You're supposed to follow the algorithm. A lot of supposed to's in that, right? A lot of supposed to's. Manifesting for entrepreneurs is a different type of challenge. We handle so many different things. And when you're on that type A, that first type of journey, that can get in the way of your success. So what is type B? Type B is the half here, half there, right? You know where you are, you know the destination you are after, and you have a pretty good idea of where to start or have an idea of how to get there, but you've never done it before. You're not 100% confident. You're not as planned. You're not as, if I do this, I expect this outcome. You're like, I think I start by making a website. I think I do this. You have ideas where to start, but you don't actually know the full bridge. And this can be really nice because you can plan some steps and still have an element of adventure. You can still open yourself up to, okay, so if I make the website, is that really the right step for me? And so on. You can be a little bit more flexible. But what can happen? Your inner insecurities could come up. Your inner control freak, your inner business planning could all come in and be like, okay, have to plan this. Okay, we cannot take the next step until we figure it out, until we've planned, until we structured it. And then we try to be balanced of that type A, the planning, the rigidity, the expectations, the control of the how again. Well, at the same time admitting, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? That's a kind of a weird sense of letting go of control and unknowing, the unknowing. Some of us are not very comfortable without having a level of knowing, a level of expectation. And when we're in that, it can create insecurity. And then you start to doubt, am I worthy? Am I good enough? Is this ever going to happen for me? Do I know what I'm doing? You ever have that as a business owner? I know I have. And that kind of happens here in the type B. The brain is part there. We got part of the plan, but then we also realize there's a whole gap and we don't trust ourselves. So when you're in the type B, it can kind of go both ways for you, right? You're forcing that linear progress. You're trying to control the how. You're trying to figure it out, but you might feel insecure and doubt yourself along the way. So what you want to do is kind of treat each of those steps or phases as mini experiments. And if you've ever read the Lean Startup, this is one of those things. Just try something. What are you inspired to try? Step in there, see how it goes. No expectations. Let go of the how, let go of the expectations. If you have set up your manifesting goal correctly, where you felt into it and you've asked the universe for it and you know it's yours, well, trust that. Trust that you're going to be guided in that direction, that your intuition is on the right compass, and that anything between you and it are just blocks. Because sometimes you have to take an action that might feel like failure because you don't see the outcome immediately. But that didn't mean it didn't have an impact somewhere out there. I sometimes do this to remind myself that, hey, I'm being called to write this article right now. I'm going to write the article. No expectations. Maybe the universe just needs somebody to read this to help them fulfill their goal. It doesn't always have to be about me and meeting mine right here, right now. It can just be putting the vibes, the actions, the momentum into the universal space and letting it be that. And that's hard when you want to manifest something very quickly. Which brings us to type C, the third type of the journey. And don't forget, you can get your questions into the chat. I will get to them. I promise. So this third type is kind of the quantum leaping journey. It's the quantum leaping journey. You know where you are. You know what you want to manifest. You have no idea how to get there. You don't know how it's going to happen. You've never done it before. You might not even know where to start. Perfect. This is powerful because you have maximum openness for infinite possibilities. You don't know what to do, so ask the universe. Ask your inner guide, ask your soul, ask God, whatever you're connected to. Ask it. Where do I start? What do I do first? And you'll be surprised how fast this one can happen. Because when you're listening to what you're being guided to do instead of what you've planned to do, the universe can work its magic in all the things that your brain can't see. It knows what's out there. It knows what's in motion. And you've asked to find your place in that. And if you have no blocks, no doubts, no insecurities, and you don't have an overly rigid plan of how, there's nothing between you and your goal. The universe can bring you to it and it to you faster. So I know that this is going to feel like a challenge, right? It feels counterproductive, feels uncomfortable. What do you mean? I know how to get from here to there, but I have no idea where to start. That doesn't really make sense, Acacia. I can't know and not know. You, your brain, your planner, your journal doesn't need to know. Your inner guide already does. If you've truly been called to manifest that end goal, it knows how to get you there. That was the whole plan. That's why you were designed. That's why the universe was designed for you to be part of it right here, right now. It has that. So let go of the trying to figure it out and fill in the blanks and focus on feeling of the big goal of being complete. And you will find that your inner compass will get you there. It will. I'm going to tell you a story on one of these where I was kind of on a type B, shifted myself to a type C, even though it felt way wrong. And not really wrong, but my brain didn't get it. So here I was trying to get more speaking gigs. And I was like, okay, I think this time around, I'm going to update the website. We're going to get a video speaker reel because my speaker reel wasn't in video form. And I'm going to create a list of people to reach out to. Okay. So I was like, yep, set my goal, do all these things. And then I start my journey. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Setting up the website and reaching out for I don't know. I don't really feel aligned to this. Something isn't right here. And so I just kept meditating on it, asking my inner guide and all this stuff. And my brain was like, this is what you do. Like, this is how you do it. You update the website, you do the reels, you do. But internally, my inner guide was like, nah. And I go, what do you want me to do then? he goes, I want you to focus on your trainings. I'm like, my trainings? What? So after a few attempts, I was like, no, I get it. I'm feeling the nudge. I'm just not meant to be on my type B anymore. I've got to let it go. I only knew the start of the journey, but I had to let it go. It didn't feel right to my inner guide, even though it's what my brain really wanted to do. It's like, here's the plan. Here's what you do. So I was like, screw it. My inner guide says to work on my trainings instead of my speaking gigs. Okay. So I started to do that for a couple days. And on day 3, I had a meeting with one of my training partners that I work with, the Small Business Development Center here. And we were just talking. We also just love to chit chat. We've become friends over our time together. And she just stopped me. She goes, have you ever thought about being an inspirational speaker? Yeah. Why? I know some people who are looking. I would not have said the words I said in that meeting. I would not have had the stories and the glow from inside of me, the way I spoke those things, if I had been focusing on my website and my speaker reel in the 3 days prior. But because I was focusing on something else, what I felt inspired to take action on, I energetically was in a different place. I spoke with different words, and they sparked a speaking introduction that I never could have planned for. My brain didn't know that. I don't work with her for that stuff. I work with her for other stuff. I would have never thought she knew anybody who did that. The universe took me from a type B to a type C. And by honoring that space, 3 days later, I had an introduction for what I actually was trying to manifest. Right? So do we see how this can work, going from type A to type B to type C? As business owners, we've been trained to do type A. The closer we can get ourselves to a type C, the more likely we are to manifest our goals easier and faster. So let's do a quick, just kind of comparison. Type A, this is where you know where you're going and you know how to get there. You've likely done the steps along the way. This can bring up attachments to past methods, expectations. You're assuming the history will repeat itself, and you're not leaving the space to try different things or for different outcomes to occur for you. The type B, where you know where you're going, you generally have a plan or part of the plan, but maybe you've never done it before. You might start overthinking those gaps. You might be forcing some type of linear action, trying to get the puzzle pieces to fit in a way that feels they're supposed to. And you might be trying to fill those unknowns with busy work, your supposed tos, the shoulds. This is what worked for everybody else. Those are the things we want to let go of in that type B. And then type C, look, yes, it can have a fear of the unknown, and it can sometimes bring that awkwardness about what is inspired action versus what I'm planning to do. When we do something that we are planned to do, we're like, this is the way the plan is, we're saying, I am going to manufacture this outcome to happen the way I want it to. I'm going to force it. You want it easy. That's not forcing. Forcing and easy are different. So leaving ourselves open to what we feel called to take action on, and to let go of any impatience when you don't have those immediate results. You don't know what the universe has in motion. I have had moments where I wanted to manifest something, and a video I posted a year and a half ago suddenly goes viral. I forgot about that damn thing. I posted it a year and a half ago. And the universe is like, I already know everything you've built and done. I know all of the energetic space you've put out there. And I know how it connects to everything I've asked of you for the greater cause for everyone. Okay? So, just some last notes. Permission. It is okay to not know every step. It is okay. It's also okay to release the timeline. Release the timeline. It's okay to manifest, hey, universe, I want $20,000 by the end of August. Cool. But don't hold to the timeline, because what you might be doing is actually trying to force it to take longer. What if it could happen today? Do you really want to wait till the end of August? It's also okay to feel like your first action feels small. You don't have to the whole thing. Those little bits of momentum, they matter. Momentum comes out of energy. Energy is manifesting, right? Little pieces matter. Little Pieces Matter. In fact, there's a book right now that's growing in popularity. I forget who wrote it, but it's the power of like slow productivity. How sometimes taking years to do things in little baby steps can result in bigger outcomes, bigger success, like ultimate lifetime legacy. Like after you're dead, 200 years later, people still know your name and your work because of how you went about it, right? And it's okay to try something new. It's okay to change your journey type from type A, type B, type C. Jump around, whatever feels right. What are you called to do, and see what happens. All right, let's get into these questions now. Let's see. Let me get in here. Woot woot. Okay. What if my last attempt at a type A failed? Should I try again? Remember, past results don't necessarily mean it's going to happen this way. At the same time, there is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The key is not what you may or may not have done in the past. The key is, where is your energetic space? Where is your head space? Why are you doing those actions? You're supposed to, you should, it worked in the past, or are you not doing it? Are you feeling called to do it, but you're not doing it because it failed in the past? Just because it didn't work last time doesn't mean it won't work this time, because who you are is different. It's about the energy you bring and whether or not there's any mental blocks, emotional, feeling, physical, action blocks involved. So, and I am going to kind of pick up the word, should I try again? There's no such thing as should in manifesting. There is only your truth, your energy in your space. Whatever your calling is, that is uniquely yours and yours to succeed with. That is where you're meant to be. How do I stop comparing this attempt to past results? Well, let's see. For one, you're not the same. You're not even the same person you were last night when you went to bed. You're different today. Your mood's different. What's around you is different. Your plan for the day is different. I'm sure your inbox looked different. All of these energetic moments are different. And if that's what it is for you, repeating the same type of schedule, imagine what it is for the whole universe. Everything is different. So you can't compare this to last time because this isn't last time. Everything is different. So the opportunity to align, the opportunity for miracles is all unique to this moment. So when you're trying to repeat the past, we need to realize that that's a block. You can't repeat the past. Everything is different. So it's about how you feel, that inspired action, like I had said, right? So I'm going to do a quick analogy for a second. So a type A, let's say you're doing vacations, right? I don't know if you've ever taken a vacation, you've gone somewhere different. A type A is like, okay, I've been to this destination. I'm going to repeat that again. And maybe you repeat it every year. My aunt and uncle have this. They have a favorite place in one of the islands down in the Caribbean, and they just go every year. And so now the first time they went to a resort. This time they could do an Airbnb and, save costs and all that. So they've got their favorite place they go every year. Well, one year, now the cruise ships are in the harbor and their favorite beach is packed and the prices went up 10 times and it's different. It's the same, but it's different. So we can't expect the same results every single time. Now, if that had happened the first time, they would have been like, this is just the way it is, but they have expectations because they've been there before. A type B would be you go to a new place, but maybe you have kind of a set itinerary, right? And you kind of have an idea of how it's supposed to go. I'm on vacation. This is the itinerary. I've got some expectations. And if you've ever been disappointed or frustrated on a trip, you're like, this isn't how it was supposed to be. It's about the expectations. But then if you also have ever had a great travel story, it was probably a moment things didn't go as expected, and they ended up going better than planned. And the only thing that was different is your whole mindset about it. Isn't it sometimes funny when your roommate isn't available and now you get to sleep on a hammock? In one ways, that might sound horrible. But in another way, that might sound liberating. It's about our mindset when we're there. And then type C would be like booking a one-way ticket somewhere. I mean, like, let's see what happens. I did that with my digital nomading. I gave up my home and everything, and I had 5 weeks planned at a place I'd never been before, never been to that city, never stayed with that line of co-working and co-living. I didn't even know if the Wi-Fi worked. But I'm like, we're going. Next thing you know, I was on the road for nearly 2 years, having the time of my life. And some of them were the biggest manifesting days ever. I still can't believe the universe gave me all of that like that, because I had zero expectations. I just showed up and trusted myself to know what I needed to do or needed to say in any moment. And if something did go wrong, that I knew how to take care of myself. And I would have the friends, the family, and the credit card to get me to safety. That's the difference between all these. Do you see how a completely different type of experience along the way? This is what it is. So when you're comparing, again, to the last results, back to your question, this is what's happening. Where are you allowing yourself for the magic to happen? And giving yourself that space based on what you're called to do. Yeah. How do I know when to plan versus when to let go? Aligned action is sometimes does have planning, but you don't plan and then take the action you planned. It's the order it goes in. When you are in a type A, you're planning, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this because this is what's next in the plan. Okay. That is a manufactured, overplanned, rigid. Where if you're like, okay, this phase is done, what do I feel called to do for my next phase? Maybe you're called to do the same thing that you had down on the plan, but called to do it a little differently. So the planning is not that you don't have an idea of how to get there. It's where that idea came from. Where did the idea come from? Did it come from your brain trying to structure and control and have an outcome? Or did it come from your soul, from your light, from your energy? And then also how you go about it. How you go about it. Are you using the words you feel inspired to write in that email or that marketing copy? Or are you doing what you're supposed to do? Okay, I have to put a pain point, and then I've got to do the how matters too. So that's the difference between planning and letting go. It's not that you don't have an idea where you're going. All of these, you know where you're going. But how we decide what steps to take when and how we do them are what shifts. That's the key. Is there a best type for money goals versus relationship goals versus career goals? Okay. Is there a best type? The best type is what you're aligned to. My best type is not going to be yours. I have a different calling in this world than you. I have a different background than you. The way the universe is going to have me take action in this world is going to be different than you. It comes down to that inner guide, that inner voice, and what is calling you to, and how it's calling you to achieve that, to bring that about. So there's not a best type. The key here is to notice which type you're on. Are you on a type A, a type B, or a type C? Notice which one you're on and seeing, is that the best for your success? This is great for identifying both opportunity but our blocks. That's really what this is about. And if you've ever been in my Manifest Brilliantly program, my whole manifesting is 21 days of building your soul goal and bringing that into reality in all these other ways, is we use this as one of the ways to find the blocks, because that's what matters here. If you're called to be on a type A, that you have the plan, you've done it before, cool, and you feel totally inspired for every one of these actions, do it, baby, do it. But if you're starting to realize, oh, my brain is trying to control this, my subconscious is scared, and that's why we're doing this. Now we've got blocks, we're seeing them. So a lot of times in true manifesting, you'll waver between A, B, and C. But usually the more we can practice getting into a type C and watching that manifest our things faster and easier, that tends to work the best. But that does not mean that there's never a type A or type B moment in that. What if I've never done the whole thing before, but parts of it feel familiar? Does that still count as type B? The blocks, right? The goal here isn't to be like, I am on a type A. This is how I'm going to do it. I am on a type B. These are meant to be a tool for you, a resource to help you succeed. Because success in manifesting is our alignment, it's our calling, but it's finding those blocks. Finding the blocks is 80 to 90% of the work. Finding them and removing them. Because you're meant to have what you're called to have. You're meant to live that. And if you're not living it, it means there's something between you and it. And that between you and it is not time. It's not the resources. It's a block. So finding that block and removing it. And so that is why I created these three types of journeys, is to help you find them. Find them, call them out, and remove them. That is the most important thing. Take your soul. I love it. Your soul is meant for greatness, love. It's meant for greatness. Keep being great. Keep being love. Keep following your heart, because that is what matters. What if I have zero ideas for first steps? What if I have zero ideas? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you're called to it, your internal guide already knows how to get it. So what you want to do is stop trying to think of the ideas and start feeling them. Asking your soul, asking your heart center, where do I begin? Soul, you want me to bring this type of abundance into my life. You want me to bring this type of product into my life. You want me to support these types of clients in my business. Where do you want me to begin this journey? How can I live this journey out in a way that is fulfilling and joyful? And I promise you, if you sit, you will hear an answer. You will hear an answer. Now, what sometimes happens is in the beginning, your brain is going to get in there. Little squirrelies in there. All the voices, that song you heard, the lyrics, they're going to repeat in your head. Blocks. Slowly let them fade until you hear and feel it. Okay. And the way that message comes up might be a little different. I will admit this. And the more I talk to other people who have the same type of manifesting approach that I do, the way the answer could come up, it could be a color. It could be a word. It could be general inspiration. I feel inspired to suddenly go do this. I've had that. I was once suddenly inspired to go for a walk. And along that walk, I found not one, but 2 new clients. What? Yeah, just because I was inspired to take a walk and I went for the walk. The universe knows what you don't. So you don't have to know anything. The universe is your superpower. It created you. It wants you to succeed. It designed you to succeed. It's telling you where to go. Ask it for the guidance, because it has your answers. It 100% has your answers. Oh, I love you guys. Look at all these compliments. You are all the sweetest. Thank you. Thank you. I love that you are all here. My name is Acacia Thornton, the CEO Legal Coach. Again, I go live 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I also stream a lot of the replays on YouTube. So if you want to check out my channel, it's at CEO Legal Coach.